I just went for a walk. Hey there, okay, Tony, it's going great. How are you guys? You sprained your ankle. That's not good. Tony Bailey. The itch from the ankle? Never heard of an itch in the ankle. That sucks. No, it's probably just me. I'm in Taco Bell. I'm not on the Wi-Fi, no data. So I just beholden to how fast the data works. Taco Hell indeed. I really like the back. Actually, I know it's the Taco Bell symbol, but I really like it actually. Ow! High ankle from stepping off the curb. Hey, at least you don't have Joe Burrow's broken toe, right? Springs suck. I sprained my finger right here today, and I'm really not sure how it hurts though. By the way, for all of my Patreon, I'm sorry, for all of my YouTube members, the Shagonauts, here in a few minutes, it's not giving me an ETA of how long, but here in a few minutes, for members, there's a new episode of 7 Days to Die. The Confessions of Dictator is going to be in the next half hour or so. One my finger hurts, and I don't know why. Spraying this. It's real bad, actually. Damn. I've never had scarring like that from an injury. I turned on the heat in here, it's starting to feel nice. Yeah, I'll go live on your Discord. Doesn't pop up all that on you. It's not going to be long at all in this video. Okay. That's funny, right? Yeah, that hurts my eyes. It's not anything other on the eyes. Yeah, for sure. Why are you still spraining? Why are you spraining your ankle often enough that it's still happening? What is that, Barrett? Why are you doing that to yourself? Also, I will get in the Discord. I'm in the voice chat. I'm not super talkative, but I'm in the voice chat. You said you wanted to see Nine Kings. Okay, Eric. Oh, you're streaming? That's cool. Well, I know that I should probably make an effort to pop in, but you see where I am, buddy. I appreciate that you are here, you're live, silly boy. Okay, I've got... Hello, Autumn. I don't know what I should remember you for, no, honestly. I used to hook up with a girl whose name was either Autumn or August, or you her. I used to smash that ass. You remember me smashing that ass? You worked your ass off? Autumn, don't remember you? She was here about 2 weeks ago. Your memory is very good. You're bored, Autumn? What are you gonna do about that? Eat Jumpkins? What are you gonna do about being so bored? Reads. Go on with the wind. Like that movie. Yeah. Sliding into the chat. You sliding into my chat M's, my CMs. Hey Hector, what's up? How you doing, bud? You found a pair of AirPods? That's cool. Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. Like, did you find the case and everything? The plan, Eric? What do you mean? I'm playing Nine Kings. Oh, we're going on Winter. That's a weird thing to ask, Eric. I'm playing Nine Kings for the Discord. Hey, Eric, what's up? How are you, buddy? I'm gonna have to turn you up. Oh, I couldn't hear you. I had to turn up my laptop. All well, dude. You told me to play Nine Kings in the Discord. You said you wanted to see this, so here we are. I got a couple of hours. I know. Yeah, for sure. That's why I'm doing it. Yeah, they got a sound to them for sure. Especially at the higher speed. I don't know if it changes the sound that much. No, it doesn't change it at all. It just makes it happen more frequently. Right. I thought about going Gigantify with something other than my Paladins just because I've done that so many times in a row, but here we go. Yeah, the guys, the big guys here with the shields and the black heads. Yeah, those are my Paladins. Yep. Yep. They're awesome. Well, I've got them. I've got their stats just ridiculous. I've been jacking up their stats like crazy. Um, oh well, I don't know. I don't know if these. Yeah, I don't know if these numbers mean anything to you. Yeah. Whereas like my soldiers, their health is 31. So like normal health is, yeah, doubles the damage. It's usually double. It might be 1.5. But yeah, like these guys have 36 health. Yeah, like these guys have 36 health and do 43 or 4.3 damage, and these guys have 890 health and do 60 damage. So, yeah.
What are you streaming over there, Vincent?
What's up?
What are you streaming?
I'm on Discord right now, but I'm also on YouTube.
Oh yeah. I played Dark and Dark, that's why I was wondering. I seen the streaming setup, I instantly recognized. I was like, yeah,
For sure.
for sure. Well, I had me up on Discord some night.
For sure.
Get you added up, me and my boys, like I said, CSE,
Okay.
Dark and Darker,
Okay.
the new Arc Raiders is coming out.
Okay.
Stuff like that, Battlefield, of course,
For sure.
and then R6.
Cool.
And then me personally, I like 400.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm digging for it.
Cool. I've been playing Schedule 1.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
My buddies and me, we just, we got off, it's called Peak.
What is it?
It's called Peak. So, like, you take
Here, give me a
PC,
second, Eric. I got a guy talking to me.
You got, you take a PC and stuff, like your MetaQuest,
Yeah?
pair it up with the PC, download the PC game, and it's called Peak. You like climbing mountains with your boys,
Okay.
like fucking MetaQuest.
Yeah, that's
Across
cool.
the roads, across-
Yeah.
It's fun, and they follow their dad, they're like,
Oh shit. Okay, so it's stakes.
Yeah,
Cool.
oh, yeah.
Cool. That's fun.
It's pretty risky. Like when you're like climbing and shit, you're looking down and like, all right, boys, let's throw a rope up over here.
Yeah. That's cool. That's awesome.
I can't wait. We'll get each other added up. We'll be with it.
Yeah, for sure. Cool.
You got what system you run?
What do you mean, actually?
Like you got console or?
Oh no, I just have my laptop. I'm homeless. So this is, yeah, this is it.
No, trust me, I get it. You're talking to someone that I forced my lady to go homeless with me.
Cool.
Otherwise, I was breaking up with.
Yeah, I stay in a tent, and this is just what I do on my days. Yeah,
Good job.
yeah,
Not had. Keep grinding.
for sure.
Everyone else is stupid with what the taxes are rent and all this other stuff. Has no idea what it takes to live.
Yep, for sure.
They can go and think that like, the rent, the utilities, that's what it requires to live, but they have no clue what life is like.
Yep.
So I trust them, brother. You're gonna go
For
get
sure.
No hate from me.
For sure, I appreciate that.
Talking about. And best thing to do though, especially coming up, get the tent and even tarps.
Yeah, I need tarps for the rain, the snow and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you want to get, probably go like the girls' parks, go up completely over top of it, and then even if you can, get that fucking tent off the ground. Put wood, get a platform, get something where I know it might be a little uncomfortable to get like something.
for
The
sure.
reason why though is the ground. I lived up in Michigan when it started getting real cold,
Mhm.
homeless then.
Yeah, for sure. I actually did this. I've been doing this for a year. I did this last winter too.
Yeah.
Yeah, same spot. Yeah,
What's up, bro?
yeah, for sure.
Like I said, you're gonna get your name from me, and I definitely, I'll never do that since I've been there.
For sure.
Best thing though I can say with is, like, I'm not even joking. Stay homeless, find a job, or some source of income,
Mm-hmm.
and then once you have your income, completely put it back. So once you can do that, look for a camper. That's what I did. Reason why is I can travel anywhere in the world now, so basically homeless.
For sure.
But I pay for rent, for a log rent, and it's like $300.
Nice.
So I already have a camper now.
For sure.
I upgraded on my camper. My CB kit is underneath my camper now.
Oh, nice.
So it's like,
Nice. Cool.
little by little, figure out little.
Sure, I got one of those guys here, too.
Hey man, good talking to you.
Yeah, good talking to you too.
Get back to work.
For sure. Sorry about that. Nah, one of the guys who are working here was. Yeah, he streams too. He has a whole PC setup. I'm trying to decide what I haven't decided what I'm gonna do as I expand. Yeah, he has a whole setup. Hey Casey, I'm doing great, thank you. Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, the social bombardment is something I'm worried about in my future. Agreed. Okay. You don't bother me. You actually, I wouldn't have ever described our relationship as social bombardment. I wouldn't have ever thought of it that way. Eric. If I leave you unread, you stop. Like if I don't read it, or if I read it but I don't if I don't re-engage, you don't stop, or you don't continue. If you continued, then I would consider it bombardment. You don't bombard me. Hmm. Yeah, we talked about this last time I was playing, but you were asking me about this. Yeah, every 9 seconds, they build a new mycelium. Yeah, yeah, every 9 seconds of the wave at standard speed. Oh yeah, they don't take damage. Yeah, they don't take damage. That's these guys. They just do passive damage. They just do range damage. No. No, they don't take damage. Yeah. Yep. Yep, yeah. I'm playing Nine Kings on the Discord, hanging out with my Discord audience. T-E-T-N-E. Yeah. Yeah. All of the damage. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So this one right here is gonna finish growing, and it's gonna start spitting. This one just went down. It's gonna grow. There's two of them that just went down right here that are gonna grow up. Yeah. It just keeps getting more powerful every turn, every wave. Yeah, like that song by that comedian, XD. they have a I have them buy a I have them buy a building right here that every time I play a card makes them 2% or 2% more powerful. Or every time I improve one of my buildings here, and I improve like 4 buildings in a row, so they got 8% more powerful in their base, and they're just getting bigger. So you see their base damage is 14, I think. Yeah, they do 14. Oh no, this is how much damage they did that turn. This is how much they did the previous wave. Yeah, that's how I know who's actually doing good damage. Yeah. I don't know. However many this is, it doesn't tell me how many I have. It just tells me how much damage I've done. And yeah, they do 13.8 damage apiece.
No, honestly, I love you.
Yeah, yeah, they're just getting bigger, and because they're by this. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah, I would have to divide it by the hits per second. That's just a lot of math that I'm not going to do. I love you, but it's just not a math. That's a lot of math I'm not doing. Mounted by adjacent. Yeah, I don't know when I don't know how I would have to play this, and I would have to watch it with a stopwatch, and that's a lot of math. That's a lot of math. I mean, I could count them. I got 3, 6, 7, 10, 17, so probably 34 of them right now, and then 2 more growing. Yeah, every one of these sprites is an accurate count. I don't know what that means, XD. No, I don't hook up with Marines, no. That's the goal here. I'm trying to stack and get more powerful. Yeah, I can buy a new plot. This, that allows me to discard a card in my hand. Yeah, so like I got three cards here, and you have to play down to 2 cards. When you have 2 cards, the wave begins. So if I can't play any of my cards, then you can discard so that the play resumes. Yeah. Throw it away, and then I get a little bit of money, and then the wave continues. Yeah. Yes. Yep, that's what I like about it. Yeah, the wild card is one of my the nothing deck unique cards. So we have 9 unique cards in the nothing deck. It's one of the unique cards in that deck, so I try to use it to max out the stuff I have on the board. Because like I don't need another tile of paladins. I don't need another tile of soldiers. Uh, I don't really need. Yeah, my paladins have gotten stupid. Um, but what I'm trying to do. Which word? What did I say? Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's straight up what the goal is here is to power trip. Mm-hmm. And then just evaporation is so awesome to see. Oh, it's so awesome. Yeah. Yep. Barely take any casualties. Yeah, the Nothing Rebellion is your when you're playing is the Nothing card, the Nothing or the when you're playing is the Nothing King. The Nothing Rebellion is your toughest opponent. Oh, that sucks. That really sucks. No. Yeah, that's just the color of the stat. The color damage is just that color. Usually, yeah. Right. Yeah, the yellow is stat boost, red is damage, blue is move speed. Each stat has a different color, so you don't have to actually try to read it, you just see it. Oh, I couldn't do, yellow was all stats, red was damage, blue was move speed. Probably HP. Probably HP. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, 2% damage, that's red. And then purple is a spell. Mm-hmm. Yeah. These are two maxed out blacksmiths, and they add plus 4%. Each one adds plus 4% 2 times to everything adjacent to it. So since I have two of them, they're just this is absurd. It's gonna be easy. That's the bosses. This champion of nature. This is the boss fight. That's his attacks. It's an area of effect damage field. So if you get in it, you just take passive damage. And there we go. We just won. Yeah. He was. Yeah. Yeah. Wrathful. Oh shit. I'm starting to get really interesting perks now. Yeah, the coming. No. No, the coming soon is the infinite waves. So this is still in early access. So 33, you get to wave 33 and you win. You get to wave 33 and that is a win. That's winning the game. And then after wave 33, it'll continue infinitely. Yeah, you can pick your Well, when you do a new game, you get to pick your king and your difficulty, and it just starts over. Yeah, it's the same 9 cards. It's the same nine. No, I'm not army. It's the same. Yeah, it's the same unique cards. Yeah, every time. Right. Yeah, yeah. They line up and they. It's a. I am taking this. Yeah, it's a good little simulator. Yeah, so now those guys. Yep. Yeah, it was a 1%. It was a 1% chance every time you kill something, or maybe it was. It was a percent chance. I don't remember what the percent chance was, but it was a. I don't remember what the. It was a percent chance to get one gold whenever you kill something, whenever that unit kills something. It might be 1% per stack of that card. Am I gonna do this? This is insane. The farm, every year it adds 1 unit to one adjacent troop per level, and so it's just gonna add more dudes to this every level. That's just a card. That's just what the card is. It's the paladin card. And so yep, now we just got 5 new paladins. And so now I have more units than you do, and you can't kill my units. Mm-hmm. Yep, the blacksmith is going to give him plus 2 HP. I don't know. I'll have to. I understand. Yeah, I'm not sitting and trying to read them.
I'm going home.
Yeah, so like the cauldron is going to give them poison attack. So everything adjacent to the cauldron gets poison damage. So you'll start to see purple numbers stack up here when they do damage. To those purple 2s, those are poison. That's actually a 6. Here, I'm gonna put the thief skips the front line and attacks their back line. So these little dudes right here are thieves. They're going to skip their front line, and they're going to come back here, and they're just going to attack their archers. And they have poison damage. So they're in real trouble. You see how they're down here diverting the attacks away from their archers, so their archers aren't attacking my paladins? Yeah. I'm talking to my Discord, eh? Yeah. Right. Yeah, I like to let my dudes do the work. I like to not use the catapult, so I can know that I'm staying ahead of the game. No, you can hold it down. Yeah, see how it's got that cooldown? Yeah. Yep. Right. Yeah, like we used to do in WoW. Yeah, try to get it during the latency. Yep. During the latency window. Yep, we used to do that in WoW. Maybe. Yeah, it depends on what you're playing. 2% attack speed to adjacent troops and constructions. That's sweet. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't have enough plots for all the cards I'm about to buy. Okay. So I'm gonna start. This Earthquakes unlocks a target plot, adjacent plots, but it destroys this plot, refunds me the cards, and unlocks the 2 plots around it. And so we're gonna go. It gives you the duplicate. It gives you the cards for every level it was. So if it's level 3, it gives you 3 cards. But if it's level 5, it only gives you 3 cards back. It refunds up to 3 cards. I messed up. I shouldn't have put that lever in. Right. I messed up. Yeah, I made a mistake, but we'll make it work. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my castle is still definitely level 1. Yeah, pretty much. Right. Yeah, I never take it. I never use it. I'm sure there's a way to, I'm sure there are other people who like to play that way. I'm just not one of them. Perfect. The damage. Yeah, the damage for sure. I have a perk to increase the radius. Okay. So Earthworks gives me these 2. Yeah, I spent an Earthworks to get these farms up because I want to put this beacon down right here. And then I can put the farm right here. That beacon gives him plus 2% attack speed every turn. What's up, Mihai? How are you doing? Mm-hmm. It's not going to put down units, but it's going to make this unit better. It's not going to add units. It adds plus 1 unit to 1 adjacent troop. So right now there's only one. Yeah, right now there's only one adjacent unit, so it adds one unit to that tree. Yeah, just stack. Yeah, just stack the recruitment of my paladins. No, for sure. It was working. I just wanted to move it around. Uh, yeah, that's happening. So I can use this to make my castle hits more powerful to leave a damage, a fire effect on the ground. Yeah. Here's some stacks. I need to save up my gold. I feel like I could put this here and make these. Actually, I'm gonna. It's stupid, but I'm gonna make these. Yeah. Well, this is a perk, so it's every wave. Well, unless my paladins don't die. Luminism. That was neat. Alright. Well, it was a 30% range increase on area of effect, and it was one of these, so it would stay. It's just a permanent bonus to my army. It would be a permanent uh, bonus, unlike these. Mm-hmm. Well, if it's area of effect, it would be like explosions every time something blows up. It's not one turn. It's just it's a permanent effect. So like my poison now, every time enemies attack my units, those enemies gain a poison stack in every fight. So it would just be every area of effect is just larger. I don't use any area of effect attacks, so it just wouldn't have any. It wouldn't benefit me. It wouldn't do anything for my army. And then I just Well, if I had like explosion, if I did AOE, it's actually pretty good because it increases the number of things that are caught in the area of effect. But I don't have any area of effect spells. But other than my this is an area of effect. Yeah, blast damage. Um, I just don't have any. I don't have any of those. Yeah, I should have read what that said. There's a wizard. There's a wizard card. Yeah, their spell and they throw fireballs. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. They don't have. They don't. I guess they don't. I mean, they don't really have elemental damage. So like they don't have like in Pokemon they don't have like type matching like that. They don't have like damage types. Yeah, there's poison. There are a couple different kinds of explosion damage. There's a chain lightning attack. Yeah, the chain lightning is one of my favorite things. The chain lightning is. Yeah, when you hit a target, it does 2 lightning damage to 2 adjacent targets. Yeah, it jumps off and does 2 other. Yeah, and then for every stack of shock you have, it increases the number that it hits and the damage that it does. Yeah, I stack it on my tanks. They have 2 stacks of it right now. That's what you can see it when they attack. You'll see the lightning jump around their armor. Okay, well you can't see it right here, but when I'm not playing Greed, yeah, Greed uses all assassins, thieves. Everything Greed does attacks your back row. Just ignores your front row and attacks your back row. Yeah, there's a 2% chance to receive 1 gold per stack of Midas touch. Hey, hi, I'm doing great. Yeah, there's a 2% chance per stack of Midas touch to 2% chance that a kill nets you 1 gold. Yeah, or just a 2% chance. It's not going to calculate it like that, but yeah, 2% chance. So like every kill does a D20 roll, basically, or a D100 roll. So I mean, you could get hundreds in a row. It's just now it's actually 4% because I got 2 stacks of it. Well, like if you've got 5%, you can sure, you can anticipate that after 50 you should have 1, but you wouldn't want to count on that. The mean is the number that's come up the most often. Is that right? The median is the average. Well, the range is the high to low. The average is the mean. I think the median is the number in the middle of the set, and the mode is the number that shows up most often in the set. That's how that goes. And then the range is the range of the set. Well, it's probabilities. So so in a probabilistic set, what you would have is you would have a series of 1s and 0s. If you were actually doing the math, you would either have hits or not hits. So if you're trying to calculate 2% and you do 100 rolls, the number that would show up the most often is 0, because you would expect to only see 4% 1s. So you would see, if you did 100 runs at 4%, you would expect to see 4 hits and 96 misses. And so your mode number there would be 0, because it was the number that showed up most often in the set. And then, well, no, 1 out of 50 is 1 out of 50 is just mean, median, mode, and range are for managing numbers in a set. And so when we're talking about probabilities, we're not managing numbers in sets. We're just talking about probabilities. You would have to do the calculation. So like, if you're trying to calculate the how often actually you flipped heads in a series of 100 coin flips, then you would end up with something like 49 tails and 51 heads, but neither of those is a mean, median, mode, or a range. And until you sat down and calculated, okay, well, how many times did I actually get heads versus how many times did I actually get tails? Then you would get into your average, your median. But with probabilities, until you actually run the set, you have a 4% likelihood, which means that when you kill a guy, you roll a D100, and if it rolls on 1 through 4, you hit. If it hits on 5 through 100, you didn't hit. And so you can just expect 4 out of 100, but you wouldn't want to bet like that. If you're betting like that, you're going to lose money. Yeah, they make D100s, for sure. Or you can roll 2 D10s. Yeah. Or you can roll a 5d20. Yeah, D&D got real popular with the internet a lot after COVID, and so the dice manufacturers have gotten very silly. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm. Stone is so difficult for me. Yeah, 6 pips, so you have an 18, give or take 18% chance to hit any one number. So 1 in 6 times you roll it and you have a 1 in 6 chance of any of those numbers. Yeah, so a 1 would have a 7, a 2 would have an 8. It would just ascend like that. Right. Yeah, math. Math is cool. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Heard that, Hector. You're good. I got other people talking to me. I'm listening. For sure. Cool. For sure. Right, like a D12. A D12. I mean, yeah. It's a 100-sided polygon. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they look like balls. Yeah. But yeah, there are people who will buy them for the novelty. There are people that think it's very cool. And yeah, precisely. Right. Yeah, so long as you're calculating probabilities in the hundreds, so long as you want a percentile, 100 percentile. But yeah, you can use it on a D20. You could use it anywhere. Yeah. Yeah, D100 is how most video games operate. Yeah, they don't usually use a D20 set. Rule set, that is. Yeah, D10 or D20. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, decimal math is pretty cool. Yes. Yeah, I don't have the art skills or the coding skills. But yeah, I thought about making this exact game, and I tried to make He's Coming. I tried to make a game just like He's Coming, and I own. Uh, uh, sure. Thought about. Thought about, but like actually sitting down and I was trying with a friend, but actually sitting down and banging out the rules is just a lot of brute force work that I have not put the time into. No, I've thought about it. Have I put the time in? No, it's a lot of brute force work. Yeah. Hey, Grayson. Yeah. Well, Milton Bradley, Parker Brothers. Yeah. Um, sort of, but the board game market is sure, but the novelty board game, for sure, but the novelty board game market is a lot more competitive than just like what you can find at Walmart. I was trying to collect board games, and there are some really good ones. Some really good ones. I really like the game Evolution. Well, like there's a whole just like with D&D. So D&D is considered a board game. So like with people who are interested in the culture and the milieu, people who are interested in board games, there's a whole market of just very intense shit. I put the wrong spot. Board games, very good, very intense board games. Novelty game stores. Yeah, you have to go to your novelty game stores, your places where you would buy D&D books. Yeah. Yeah, they don't get out. They don't get out into like Walmart. Sometimes you can find them in Target, but you have to go to a game store, like an actual game spot. No, I'm not using the internet. Maybe. Like the Atari game. For sure, I do a Battleship. Sure. It's just a sure. It's getting it to market, and then it's play testing it. You gotta play test it, and it's a lot of time. It's just time. It's a lot of brute force thinking, and it's just a lot of time that I don't have. Because you, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. I was gonna say I own RPG Maker. Yeah, yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Unless you didn't want to. Yeah, because I mean, it's a game that lets you make video games. So everything is standardized. Shit. I bought the wrong one. No, you're not bothering me. I bought the wrong thing. I needed to buy the soldier, but I bought a power. It's all good. I don't know about that. I like what I like. I like strategy games. Sure. 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 I mean, it depends. It depends on what people want. So if like people want GTA and people love that, I mean, nah, nah, nah. I mean, that's not wrong. That's not untrue. But it's also things are changing. But I mean, like that's why I play so many early access and indie games is because there are good games out there. Yeah, Ark is an indie developed game. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Edward. Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah. The things that we're able to realize. Mm-hmm. Terraforming. Yeah. I haven't played Spore, but I've watched people play it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sure. Sure. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Hey, Fender. For sure. That's the end of the game. Well, that's why it's the end of the game. Well, the game has to end somewhere. Well, I mean, the game has to end somewhere. There has to be a victory condition at some point. Well, most people don't finish it. They just play it. Yeah, you give yourself you give yourself challenges. Well, I want to play it this way. Like you were talking about all the most optimal ways to beat it, so just play it in a suboptimal way. Right, and then, get better. Yeah, well that's also a very old game. Yeah, at the time. Right. It was by the original developer of SimCity. It was very ambitious for its time. Mm-hmm. Oblivion was alright. It pissed me off, but it was alright. Oblivion, it has a narrative gate where it takes all your shit. So I had stolen and fenced every single item in the game. So I had 2 million gold and a bunch of super rare super weapons. And then there's a narrative gate where they take all your shit and don't give it back. And so they took all of my gold and all of my special gear, and I just turned the game off and never came back. I had over 300 hours in it, and they took all my shit, and they said, well, if this game's gonna disrespect me, it can fuck itself. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't pay attention to the names of stuff. I don't know. I just know I had good shit. And it just it takes everything. No, there's a narrative gate. The main story sends you to this cult or whatever. And when you join the cult, they take all your shit. And they took all my shit and I said, fuck this game. Yeah, just one of the no one. It's not that the game won't progress. It's that the main story quest. You have to join this cult, and they just take all your shit, and you don't get it back. The only way to get it back is to go in and is to sneak to where it is, and but you're naked, so there's no way to get your shit back. And so I said, fuck this stupid fucking game. What if I put this? It was buggy as shit. The Alchemy. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. They, well, I mean, they did just remaster Oblivion. You know, they released a remaster. That's what I was trying to tell you the other day. Is in sequels they don't reuse, especially in PC games, they don't reuse the core anything. So like, Oblivion was the fourth game in that series, and Skyrim is the sequel to it. And so Skyrim has a completely different. It's just a completely game mechanical. Um, that's how PC games have always been. And so, like the game that came before Oblivion, Morrowind, is even more customizable. You can make spells in Morrowind. Morrowind, probably. Um, well, yeah, you brought up Oblivion and Morrowind. Morrowind is the one before Oblivion, and then I think it was Daggerfall before that one. Yeah, Morrowind was the first one on the console. Yeah, people really like Morrowind. Yeah. Um, yeah, people really liked Oblivion. People preferred Morrowind, and then at the time, people were annoyed by Skyrim, but now people prefer Skyrim. So, yeah. Mm. It's an isometric point and click. Yeah. Yeah, legal. Yeah, it's an arena game. That's the point. There is no story. There is no story. It's a PvP arena game. That's the game. That's the whole point of the game. And it's not anything like Diablo. It's Yeah, it's a 5v5 arena game. It's a 5v5 and it is a player versus player. It is player versus player because everyone playing is a player character. Yeah, that's okay. For you it's not an enjoyable game. Yeah, that's the point of the game. That's the point. That's the point of the game. It's also an indie game. Yeah. That's the game. That's why. Yeah. Yeah, that's the game. That's the game. That's the game. Sure, that's the game. That was a community game. That's an indie game developed for those players. That's what they want. Well, that's not the top of what online has to offer. I've told you this before. League of Legends is a niche game developed out of extremely competitive online Warcraft 3 gamers made a mod called Defense of the Ancients. It's just all League of Legends is a 5v5 Warcraft 3 arena game. That's all it is. You don't have to like it. Team Gaming. If that's what your class was responsible for, that's just what your class was responsible for. Mm-hmm. So if you're it's a 5v5 arena game with classes. It's a tactical game. Think about the military. You don't have 5 guys. If you have a 5-man team, you don't have 5 guys all with the same gear. If you were the healer, your job is to heal. It's like you don't give the medic a bazooka, you give the medic fucking bandages. Well, well, I mean, you were a nub. You got to remember that. if you were playing the healer, that's your job. Well, if you were playing the tank and you were doing anything besides taking damage, then you were playing wrong. If you weren't playing your class, then you were playing wrong. That's why you weren't having fun. They had, they had, they had classes. They have classes too, man. It's like, yeah, you go into combat with. Well, okay, but again, you're taking the position that you know the game better than they do. But you, okay, but you were a noob too. You didn't have thousands of hours of expertise in the game. You were also a noob. Right, you kicked it quick. You didn't get good. You didn't even stay long enough to learn the different classes. You went, I don't like this. And that's okay. You had to play the game? That's crazy, man. It's not an idle game. It is a 5v5 arena PvP game. It's not rigged or broken. It's a 5v5 arena game. You don't have to like it, but you got to remember that other people liked it. Other people like it. That game has a very active professional community of people who pay to watch people play it. Pay a lot of money. You don't have to. There are a lot of things you wouldn't do. There are a lot of things that you wouldn't do that other people do all the time. You got to remember that a lot of people probably think that about the games you like too. Like that's how I feel about that's how I feel about platformers. You play a lot of you play a lot of single player games that aren't online. But other people like things that you don't like. If that's, I mean, that's, sure, that's how you feel, but even before you were playing League of Legends, I was playing EverQuest competitively online, and I loved it very much. Yes. It was a, you have to have a 5-player party. It is a fantasy MMORPG, and I was playing competitively in guilds, and I was raiding, and I was doing dungeons. Yes, you have to have other people playing at a very high level to complete the game. Well, yeah. You don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to. Well, I mean it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert at anything. You don't have to want the No, they really aren't. League of Legends is one of the biggest indie developed games on the market. I am telling you, everything you're saying is very wrong. League of Legends is huge. No, no, no. League of Legends, no. Blizzard made a League of Blizzard Activision made a League of Legends clone called Hero of the Storm that is competitive. People pay tickets to go watch people play it live. It is an esport. That's what esports are. You would probably describe playing football in the exact same terms you're describing playing League of Legends. because it's an e-sport. It's a sport. It's very competitive, and you have to put in that time because there are people that good. You don't have to want to play it, but there are people who like it very much. It is huge. It has spin-offs, it has novels, it has a show on Netflix, League of Legends does, and it has spin-off games in different genres. League of Legends is huge because it is indie developed by fans, for fans, exactly that. You don't have to like it. I found it very hard to competitive too. Every game, well, okay, but yeah, okay, but would you expect football to suddenly be soccer? It's a sport. Well, yeah, you don't like esports, so you don't even play Mario competitively. Like you don't speed run Mario against other people who play it. Right. Well, you don't have to. Speed running is not hacking the game. Speed running is finishing the game as quickly as possible. It doesn't. Sure. To you, maybe. To you, but not to them. To you, but not to them. It's very competitive, and a lot of people make a lot of money. To you, sure. You don't have to. You don't have to like it. You don't have to like it, but people also compete in MMA. Sure, I don't disagree with you. But other people are very happy with it. Well, he was also a boxer. Sure, because you got to make your money somehow. Sure, but they have fans who pay to see them. We don't have to like. We don't have to like it, but other people very much do. Other people like it very much. We don't have to. It's really not. I promise you. Like, the cons that I've been to had a whole separate room of people just playing League of Legends. I promise you. It was just packed with people who wanted to watch people playing League of Legends. Just packed. It's very competitive. I'm telling you. You don't have to like it, but it is competitive. Yeah. Yeah, that's what Twitch started for. It's because people wanted to watch these extremely competitive niches within gaming online. People used to stand around and watch people play in arcade games too. Right. Yeah, Mario Maker gets a lot of play. Well, some of it's like me. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is like me. They're just trying to record it for posterity. That might be the only way they can record it. Because they might not have got on the leaderboards. They might not actually be competitive yet. They might just be really good trying to get on the. That's what I'm saying. If they're good and they're not on the leaderboards, they don't have fans. There are people who might be better. These people are probably just trying to get noticed. I mean, it's not different than what I'm doing. It's really not different. Sure. It's about the way the way I think about the game. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, Dwarf Fortress. Dwarf Fortress. Sure. Yeah, it's just about, I mean, it's about the way I think. It's about the way I engage with this stuff. And I'm not good at everything. I mean, there are games where I'm just like, I'm not going to be good at this, and so I leave it. Or like, I don't like this, so I'm just going to leave it. And that's kind of what I'm saying. It's like, not everything is for everyone. So you don't have to like something like League of Legends, but there are people who love it. There are people who will die for it. I think it's boring and very repetitive, but people really like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I think it's very boring and very repetitive, but there are people who love it. I played a game, I think it was called Hand of Stone, that was like it, and I played it competitively for a few months. But I don't tend to like competitive games. Mm-hmm. And the fighting games like Street Fighter are extremely competitive. No, it's not this. Every game is different. No, every game is different. Street Fighter 6 has the open world thing going for it, but every game is different. I'm sure it doesn't. It does for you. It does for you, but those games remain successful. No, it was probably just that he wasn't as good as the other guy. That's why we compete.
Hey, you got any more?
So you can't cheat.
Here, by chance, on your character, you are.
Okay, now what you're saying is silly. What you're saying is silly. When you go to a casino, you don't bring your own deck of cards. Exactly, exactly. What was the point in doing that? What he did was stupid. What he did was stupid. It's called competition, man. It's called fair competition. You can't bring modded bullshit. Choosing to do something dumb doesn't make sense. Uh-huh. That's not what they did, though. They gave everybody the same controller. But no, that doesn't make sense. When you go into a casino, you don't have your own deck of cards. It's a tournament that for money. What are you talking about, Cloak and Dagger? What are you talking about, Cloak and Dagger? There, you can't use aimbots. Aimbots don't exist in competitive play at tournaments. If you try to use an aimbot, you will be disqualified. You can find these scandals have happened. People try to cheat all the time. People have gotten caught. No, it means they haven't been rigged. It means they haven't been rigged because people have been caught cheating. If you get caught cheating, that means that the competition is fair. No, if you don't get caught, you're an asshole. It's like, okay. Or they're just the best in the world. They're just good. But you're never going to prove that it's complete bullshit because it's just not. You have to prove that it's bullshit before you go around calling people frauds. Yeah, just don't play the game. It has nothing to do with you. You don't have to compete. You don't have to. Again, it's like football. It's like professional football. You don't have to watch. But the gaming market isn't dying. But they're not dying. But they're not dying. Steam has an extremely thriving market of indie devs. Yes, 1% of everyone is scamming. You can assume that 1% of everything is a scam, for sure. For sure. That just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. Not in gaming. Only if you're pirating, naturally, people are going to do illegal shit to you while you're pirating and ethical shit to you while you're pirating, but if you're not pirating, you don't have anything to worry about. How do you think that would work? Steam finds out that a game that they have been selling, that they have been accepting your money to give to you, they find out that this game is negatively affecting people's lives. Do you think that Steam is going to do nothing about it? Yeah, and you're not up shit creek because you just sold that through Steam, and now Steam is going to come after you and sue you with the class action lawsuit for all the damages that you caused. That's why it just never happens. It's not the consumer's problem, it's Steam's problem. I don't know how you're not hearing me. I feel like you're just ignoring everything I'm saying. It becomes Steam's problem because you didn't buy it. You didn't buy the game from the developer, you bought the game from Steam. So Steam has to protect your system. So Steam isn't going to let anything bad happen to your system. Steam isn't going to sell you games that can do that. Steam has proprietary rights to every game that goes up there. I am sure that they scour the code for that stuff before they let you put it up. There are EULA. There's an EULA that you have to sign in order to sell through Steam because, like YouTube, Steam is Valve, the people that made Team Fortress, and the Half-Life games. No, I haven't played anything that Steam has developed. They're just not interesting to me. They're not this. Yeah, it's a shooter. Yeah, it's just an arena team shooter. I don't know. I think you're the person who calls it a sandbox. I don't know that it's a sandbox. I've never heard Team Fortress called a sandbox. It's an arena shooter. It's just a team arena shooter. It's like small and it's class based. So everybody has a specific job. Sure, Team Fortress 2, they're the same game. It's just a team shooter, like that game that Blizzard made. I don't think it's a sandbox. I've never heard it. I've never heard of it called a sandbox. But it's definitely a team shooter. I don't know. I don't play it. Sandbox usually means that everything is manipulable, that you can destroy things and move them around. So you can probably destroy the environment. I don't know. I don't play it, and it's not in my wheelhouse of interest. So it's not something I've watched other people play either. There is a game. A sandbox game means that you can manipulate and destroy the environment in the game world. No, well, yeah, Minecraft is a sandbox game for sure, but a sandbox shooter would mean that you can destroy and manipulate the world environment. So, like, what you cannot do in a Mario game is just manipulate the world environment. You can't have Mario go into the background and pick up a tree and put it in somewhere different in the environment. You just can't do that. So it's not a sandbox. Okay. What I've never played Team Fortress. It's not a game that would appeal to me. Now, Wreck-It Ralph was probably designed to look like it, if I had to guess. Probably not. Probably not. Team Fortress is old. That look is that was a specific kind of character design style back in the day. People like it. I have no opinion. Wait a minute. Interesting. I mean, that game's old. Team Fortress is old, and it was a really good idea at the time. There weren't class-based team shooters at the time. It was the first. It's a different kind of game. And Half-Life isn't an online. Half-Life isn't an online competitive shooter. Half-Life is not an online competitive arena-based shooter. Half-Life is a or as a single player narrative driven first person shooter. Half-Life? I don't know. I just told you I've never played it. I don't know. No. Yeah, I'm aware of the history that the game existed in time. I've never played it. Yeah. No, Fallout is by a completely different developer than Half-Life, but they're from the same time. The IPs were developed in the late 90s for PC. Why is it crazy? Yeah, they were just developed in the late 90s, so they both were thinking about things that people were thinking about in the 90s. I've watched people talk about it, but it's not for me. Okay. Kingdom Hearts 2.
What do you think? What do you think? We'll get here.
It's just the game that gels with me the most. I like the story, I like the combat system, I like the progression, I just really like to play it. It's just a lot of fun to play. Yeah, PS2. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 2 is one. Yeah, 10 was fun. It was long. That was what we wanted back then. We wanted long games that were gonna engage us. For 11 is online only, and I think that 14 is online only. No, wait. Yeah, 12 or 13 are both single player. 13 was on PS3, 12 was on PS2. Right at the end of the console generation. PS2, 12 was on PS2, yeah. Right at the end of the console generation. It was on PS2. I beat it. I bought the, what's it called? I bought the collector's edition. PS2. Yeah, I had the special edition of that. Good. Yeah, Tactics is a good game. Sit down. Boom. Oh, I ducked him.
Oh my god.
Dude, he took too long.
He's got to set him up so bad. You see the way he's turning?
Yeah, he turned and get that step power to his foot. Dude.
What's up with this, bro? Walk for you there?
Mm-hmm. Well, every Final Fantasy game has a different, it has a different combat system, a different UI, well, not really a different UI, but different mechanics. Mechanically, they're different games every release. Sure, but mechanically they're used differently, and they're acquired differently. They're acquired in different ways. Well, bro, I mean, I beat the first four, and I played the first third of the fifth Final Fantasies for the channel. You can go watch and see that the first five Final Fantasies are different games. They're all different. Yeah, I was playing on my phone. I didn't have a computer at the time. Yeah, and as far as like being really good at something, I beat all of those games seriously under leveled. For sure. For sure. And here we are. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Sure. For sure. Mm-hmm. For sure. You're not going to get me to protest. It's also from Ohio. Mm-hmm. Yes. That's what TikTok started as, was to replace Vine, because Twitter took videos down. Well, yeah, you have a market niche, you fill it, and you make billions of dollars, for sure. It worked. I mean, I don't think you're wrong about them being dumb, but it worked. Yeah. If the goal is to make money, it worked. Oh, come on. Really? Damn. Mm-hmm. For sure. No. good money. Yep, it makes money, so they do it. I hear you. Okay. I'm with you. Sure. Break, spill, whatever. Did I lose you, Eric? I should almost call this, Night Fountain. I should invite you to the Discord as callers in to just chit-chat with me about whatever. Eric has taken the opportunity. It's a great opportunity. You guys can't hear it, but this is kind of for the Discord audience, and you just get to see my lovely and beautiful face. Because even if you don't, I'm still here. Yeah, I'm here with you, Eric. I didn't hear you cut out in the middle, but I am still here. Mm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, yeah, you're not allowed to do that. Mm-hmm. Sure. Well,
You know, the only thing I see you doing that is a popular Brian, I'm not sure my first
probably not though. Probably not though. Well, maybe, but the Disney isn't a market. Well, they made Disney Plus because Netflix was cornering the market. Well, Netflix had a 100% market share on digital streaming dollars. Netflix had a 100% market share. You can't be competitive in a market where your competitor has 100% of the market share. Well, they're not monopolized on child entertainment. They own ESPN. They own, dude. Disney owns the no, dude. NFL. The Disney owns the NFL media group. They don't. They do not have a monopoly on child entertainment. Nickelodeon and comedy and cartoon. Well, They didn't buy Marvel. They opened a Marvel studio in conjunction with Marvel. They didn't buy Marvel. They don't own. They don't own. They don't own Marvel. They own Marvel Studios, which is a particular movie studio. And those games, I mean, those movies aren't exclusively for children either. They've made rated R Marvel movies. You wouldn't watch Deadpool versus Wolverine? It was really good. Deadpool and Wolverine are two of the most popular Marvel characters in the canon. Okay. I'm just saying that was a rated R movie. It was good. All three of them were good. But the first two were made by Sony. He didn't start Mint Mobile, and he's not a degenerate. He's one of the truly great human beings alive. He didn't start Mint Mobile. He bought Mint Mobile out because they're an indie company, and so he bought them out. So he might not even have bought them out. He probably just is a major shareholder investor. He probably just invested a huge amount of money, and then Ryan Reynolds, yeah, he lets his face and his celebrity sell their phone plans. They're just Mint Mobile is just a competitor to the major phone towers. They have a more friendly contract. Mint? Well, yeah, Mint uses Verizon's towers because they have to. Well, that's not right exactly. They have to because of the FCC. Yeah, the Verizon they can't own the towers. Well, they are. I mean, they are. Well, that's not the FCC. That's the FTC. That's not the Federal Communications Commission. That's the Federal Trade Commission. And advertisements, no, they're not. Advertisements don't have anything at all to do with regulations on who's allowed to own the broadcast towers. It's about the FCC regulates who can own. No, the FCC regulates who can own what communication networks and what you can do when you own a communication network. Yeah, they are. They're making sure that Mint Mobile can use Verizon's communication networks. That's FTC. That's the FTC, not the FCC. Well, the FTC is a different organization. The FCC is very active. Federal Trade Commission is frozen because we have Republicans in government, and Republicans are constantly in violation of Trade Commission rules. Does it? Does it? What does an embargo have to do with the price of beer? Okay, I'm a microbrewer. I'm not selling internationally. It's a good thing that as a microbrewer I can't sell internationally? I don't understand your argument. Your argument seems to be coming from the perspective that we're some imaginary international conglomerate. The government's only job is to regulate everything. That doesn't make any sense. That's just anarchy. That doesn't make sense. You can't have free trade, a free market, or a free enterprise without a government to defend it. Well, who's gonna do it? What are you gonna do about it? Okay, well, isn't that the government? But isn't that the government? Isn't that the government regulating the government? What are you gonna do about it? You don't like the way Pfizer does business. What are you gonna do about it? And to whom are you gonna blow? But who are you gonna blow the whistle to? What's the right ear? The government. The government is the right ear. No, the investors aren't the right ear. No, investors can't be the right ear. Investors cannot be the right ear because CEOs make unethical decisions to make the investors money. The CEOs are beholden to the investors. You don't tell the investors that the CEO is doing something you don't like. The investors are going to go, is it making us money? They don't give a shit. You go to the government. When you blow the whistle, the reason the government protects whistleblowers is because you go to the government. Because the only person with lawyers who won't just stop showing up to work because the evil corporation is threatening their families is the government. You have to have the FBI investigate. You can't investigate. That's why there's a Federal Bureau of Investigation. That's why we have governance. That's why we have that Constitution. That's why we have a Supreme Court. That's why all these things exist. That's why we have an executive branch, is so someone can execute the law. Well, maybe, but that's government. Right. Well, right, Eric. That's why you act like an asshole on the internet to get people to watch. It makes money. If the goal is to make money, and every international corporation is responsible to the government to be profitable. The incorporation process is telling the government that you will continue to make money. If you start losing the money, the government can take away your corporation and make you not a company anymore. For example, GMC General Motors Company is owned by the federal government of the United States because it failed in its obligation to the government to be profitable. So now it's a holding of the U.S. government. It belongs to the people of this country. Does that make it a better product? Hell no. But being profitable didn't make it a good product either. GMC is Chevy, and Ford is Ford. GMC is Chevy, and probably Dodge, but GMC is GMC, General Motors Company. Whatever sub-companies they hold, I don't know. They had to sell a bunch of their stuff when Obama bought them out. This all happened in 2008. The 2008 market crash almost destroyed our economy. It almost tanked the economy entirely. Banks were betting that black people would default on their loans. And then all the black people defaulted on their loans at the same time, and all of the banks lost their bets that they wouldn't default at the same time. So all of the money stopped coming in, and they owed themselves more money than they would ever bring in. So suddenly, not only were they bringing in no money, but they were also massively in debt. So in one day, all of the banks in the world became bankrupt. That's what happened. That's how that happened. In the entire world, because the entire world's banking system is wrapped up in London and North Carolina. And so when all of the banks in North Carolina went bankrupt, and when all of the banks in London went bankrupt, the entire world went bankrupt. Greece almost stopped being a sovereign nation. Well, it was also the American Wall Street. So we don't get to act like we had no complicity in it. It was American Wall Street bankers who were making bets that American blacks would pay their bills. I don't know what it's called, but I know it was Clinton that did it. Subprime mortgages means that people who couldn't actually pay, they didn't actually have the income necessary to cover their monthly debts, and then what they did on top of that, they couldn't. That's the point, is they didn't make the income necessary. Subprime mortgage means that the bank knew that they could not afford, because they did not have the monthly income to cover their monthly payments. The bank knew that. That's why it has a name, subprime. It's not a prime mortgage, it is a subprime mortgage. He was a community manager. He was a community manager before he was a senator, and he was a communist before that. What did we expect? No, I mean, he was a community manager. That's what he was called. It was his position in a Chicago nonprofit organization was called a community manager. Community management in the late 90s and early 2000s was a way of saying communist. And then before that, he was in a communist organization. He was an outright stated communist, and then he was in a community management position, which means that he was a communist, and then he was a Democrat senator. Why did we think he was going to be anything but a communist? I don't know. Of course. Right. I don't. The government doesn't want to steal. Yeah. Well, okay. Wait. You gotta timestamp. You gotta timestamp this because every Democrat president doesn't let the standing army vote. Every Democrat president prevents the standing army from voting because the standing army is always Republican. I don't know what res actually means. Matter or property. Thing in that context is the ancient word. It doesn't mean the same thing as thing to you. When they say, well, sort of. If you're going to reach to Latin, you need to understand the Latin Republic. The res publica of Latin meant public matters, and it just meant the government. It had nothing to do with the people. Okay, well, the Rosetta Stone was not the beginning. No. There didn't have to be a fundamental alphabet system. There isn't a fundamental alphabet system. There's the Phoenician alphabet, which was the first alphabet. Many centuries later, the Phoenician alphabet was developed before the Phoenician alphabet was developed in like the 13th century BCE. If they can read it. They have to be able to read it in order for what you write to matter. If you write up on a bulletin board, nobody read this, and nobody can read it, nobody's going to read it. So What's it matter? If nobody can read what you're writing and you're a government, it doesn't matter what you're writing. Okay. We actually came to America 500 years ago, but okay. Sure, the colonies were much closer to 400 years ago than they were to 200 years ago. Roanoke was in the 1500s. No, it couldn't have. It took 200 years of colonization and culturization and wars and politics and believing that because you lived here, you got to decide what life was like there. It took 400 years. I'm not dodging the point. I said we didn't come here 200 years ago. Yeah? Sure. Some class of people could read at all times, yeah. If you have a literate class, you have people who can read as a special skill. No, they couldn't do any damage. That's why that's who are you going to send it to? Who are you going to send it to? And what are they going to know? Okay, if they can't, okay, so if you make a YouTube video today, you make a YouTube video short, and you invent a language that nobody but you can speak, and you call me an asshole in that language, and you post it, no one's going to know what you said. It means nothing. So if you are the only literate person, in a city of 100,000 people, and you write a letter about how I'm dog shit, and you put it out and you give it to all 100,000 of those people, it's not going to mean anything to them because they can't read it. It doesn't mean anything. For them to learn to read? Okay, well, think about what they did to philosophers in the past. What happened to Socrates? Well, no. Look what happened to Socrates. They murdered him. The city of Athens voted to have him kill himself. That's what happened to Socrates. Well, not fusion and fission. Fusion is combining two atoms, and we cannot do that. And fission is the atomic bomb. It's splitting an atom. He didn't do those things, but he might have used chemistry. Okay, fission, the word fission means taking a single atom and, no, not separating it, splitting it, destroying it so that it explodes in a massive release of chemical, or of energy. Fission is splitting an atom, it's destroying an atom. Fusion is taking two atoms and fusing them together into another particle, a heavier particle. Fusion happens in the sun. Fission happens in atomic bombs. Both of those are energetic releases that guy, Lavoisier, did not do. He might have used chemistry. He might have done chemistry, but he didn't do either fission or fusion. If he'd done either of those things, he and his city would have been vaporized, like Nagasaki and Hiroshima were. Actually, if he'd done fusion, he probably would have vaporized the planet. Okay. Okay, but what it's doing is not fission. It's not fission. It's not fission. The aluminum is not becoming steel. The aluminum is not becoming steel. It's not fission. It's not fission. Okay, fission, yeah, but you're not, look, man, when you split an atom, when you split an atom with fission, it creates an energetic chain reaction that causes the nuclear bomb. And so when you put aluminum in your microwave, it doesn't fuse the aluminum atoms together into a heavier atom, a heavier particle. It doesn't do that. Okay, fission still doesn't split them, and it still doesn't split them and create a chain reaction of all of the atoms and blow up all of the atoms. That doesn't happen. If it happened, no, that's not how fission works, man. It's just not how fission works. The fission is where the atom explodes, and that's just not happening. No, it's not. It's not. That's not what. No, it's not. I. Okay, molecules and particles are different things. Molecules and particles are different things, and fission is still an atom splitting. When you split an atom, there's an energetic release. Maybe, maybe, but when you a particle. Okay, a particle is a collection of atoms, and a molecule is when those atoms bond together to make things. So that's that's not okay. It's still not fusing them back together. You might be using whatever 18th century words, but he's not fusing them together. He's just getting the particles to bond. That's just basic chemistry. Sure. Well, if he was extorting, if he was embezzling from the coffers, he was definitely done something wrong. If he's a tax collector and he spent it on his own personal research, that's called embezzlement. Yes. It doesn't matter. That's still embezzlement. It's still embezzlement, and that is illegal. That was a crime. What he was doing is alchemy, and that was a crime. Because he was spending the crown's money. That's not his money to spend. That would be no different than if you decided that you were going to develop a new kind of ammunition for the government and or for the military, and you were just taking money from the motor pool to develop this ammunition. What you're doing is called embezzlement. It's theft. It's still theft. Mm-hmm. He was probably also still spending money that he didn't earn. He was, yeah, he was stealing from the government during the French Revolution. Like, yeah, his ass was gonna get dead. And he was in bed with the French government during the revolution. He was gonna die. Everybody who was in bed with the French government during the revolution died. Sure, but it's not like we don't know it. It's not like we've rejected chemical bonds. It wasn't shoved under the rug. Chemical reactions are something that people learn about in 4th grade. Not necessarily because of his discovery. It's Well, that's not what E equals mc squared says anyway. E No, that's not what it says. But that's not what it says, because that's not, it doesn't say equal E equals m. It says E equals m times c squared. Sure. What? No, it's just squared. It's just squared because that's how the math works. The square is not a magic number. It's not. There's nothing magic happening here. It's just physics. It's just a math equation. Right. It's just math. Well, yeah, that's what E equals mc squared tells you. I don't know what the C stands for, but it tells you that in order, if you use your algebra skills, you can. Sure, I'm pretty sure it's velocity. I'm pretty sure it's velocity. I'm pretty sure it's the speed of light. I'm pretty sure that it's the speed of light. I'm pretty sure that it's the speed of light. So energy equals mass times the speed of light times itself. That's all energy equals. So however much mass you have times the speed of light times itself is how much energy is in that system you're describing. That's all that means. Well, no, relativity doesn't really. No, rel- relativity and special relativity are about how. Um, what's relative there is time. No, what's relative in special relativity is time. That time is relative to the observer. Time is relative to the observer, dependent on their velocity, and velocity is your orientation in space over time. And so what's relative is your experience of time, and how time seems to be perceived to you in space. That's what's relative. And what's relative is velocity. Um, the object's velocity, the object that you're describing or that you're trying to take the perspective of. That's what's relative in special relativity. It's talking about the relation between two objects in time and space at different velocities. The relativity is the velocity. You gotta remember, man, that these are old words, and in 2025 we don't say, like, relativity in physics is different than relativity in philosophy is different than relativity in just you and me talking. Relativity, when you're talking about Einstein, is a very specific thing. It's not just some things are relative, and relative things being relative and fiddly. It can mean this, it can mean that. It's relative to your perspective. That's a philosophical definition. That's not what relativity means in physics. Relativity means the perspective of any object that you are trying to understand in time and space. It relative to the things around it. And relative here means its relation, not its fiddly, wibbly, wobbly, we can do whatever the hell we want. And then saying something that's relative, and that means it's fiddly, blah, 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 that means subjective, and that's 21st century language doesn't mean anything. These things mean very specific things to the people who actually make money manipulating them. And the relative thing in relativity is the object to other things. Its relation to other things. Because you got to remember, that guy, Einstein, was a German who did not speak 21st century slang English. He spoke a very specific physics language. Well, you can't steal anything in science. He's not stealing any. That's not how science works. Science does not have proprietary IP. He was a physics professor. He was a physics professor. It was his life's work. That's what he wanted to do with his time. He was obsessed. He taught students. He lectured. He lectured, and he was working in a patent office. He was working in a patent office with nothing to do all day. He wasn't stealing. There is not intellectual property in science. 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 I'll say it again. There is not intellectual property. You cannot own an idea. You cannot own an idea. You cannot own an idea. No. He figured out special relativity. He figured out the math. He can't be nobody. He can't be nobody. You and I are nobodies. He was a professor of physics, man. Yeah, that's what he did, in fact, do. That's what he did. You cannot own an idea. You cannot own an idea in science. That's not how science works. That's not how science works. That's not how science works. That's not how mathematics works. E equals mc squared that's not how science works. Fundamentally, that's not how science works. That's not his idea, and he didn't conceive of anything. That's not how science works. That's not how science works. That's not, he did not patent there is no fucking conflict there. I'm going to get mad at you, and I'm going to start yelling at you. There is no conflict in interest. A patent office patents. A patent office patents. A professor teaches students. A physicist develops mathematics. You cannot say that this chemist, that this Courvoisier, that he developed and invented this thing, that he absolutely did not, because alchemy has been happening since at least 1000 BC. People have been boiling things and getting them to evaporate down into their base compounds. All he did is describe it. You can't say that guy is a celebrity for describing something 3,000 years after people figured out how to do it, and then say that Einstein, who figured out mathematics that people had been working on for 5,000 years and was right, and not only was he right, he didn't steal anything. We are still experimentally verifying Einstein's genius. Still experimentally verifying things that he thought were beyond the pale of the possible. We're still verifying him as right. You cannot steal in science. His estate, the Einstein estate, does not own electric or atomic electric energy. It just doesn't. He does not get royalties every time someone says E equals mc squared. All he did was write the book, Special Relativity. He's not stealing. Ideas do not go through patent offices. Listen to me, or I'm gonna start shouting at you because you're not listening to me and you're saying very ignorant things. Because you're not listening to me, and you got to remember, this is my show. He's not doing anything. He's been dead for 50 years. He's not doing anything. He didn't steal anything, because you cannot steal in science. He didn't steal anything. He didn't steal. Patents. You cannot patent mathematics. You cannot patent. No, you cannot. There are not trade secrets in science. 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 There are not trade secrets. The way science works. Shut up for a second. Just shut up for a second. Shut up. Just shut up for a second or I'm going to turn you off. There are not trade secrets in science because science is not a for-profit industry. God damn it. Science is a public industry for inquiry into the way that nature works. You cannot patent a scientific discovery. What you can do is publish a book that can be peer-reviewed. That peer review process is where people read your publication and for themselves verify whether it is or is not true. The reason you know about Courvoisier is because he held up under peer review. He cannot patent boiling shit. You cannot patent science. He worked in a patent office where he read other people's patents and decided whether they could or could not be a patent relevant to whether someone else already had a patent on the thing they were submitting. That has nothing to do with mathematics. They are separate industries. I am a YouTuber who also writes novels. Those are separate streams of intellectual income. They are separate things. Science, I'm on my Discord. Science is not a trade. It is not a trade. Plumbing is a trade, and you go to scientists to learn how to do it properly. Science is not a trade. What you're saying is very wrong and upsetting. There is no gatekeeper. There is no gatekeeper in science. That's not patent. That's not patents. That's government. No, it's not. It's not patents. It's not patents. It's government. Top secret, and patent and science are different things. They're just whole different circles of realities. Trade secrets do not exist in science because science is not a trade. Banking is a trade. Banking is a trade. You cannot put a cash register between, it's not deviant. It cannot be deviant. He didn't patent anything. He didn't patent anything. He can't be deviant. He can't be deviant. He didn't patent anything. He doesn't, what information is there for him to get? He didn't patent anything. He didn't patent anything. Einstein cannot have stolen a patent if he did not patent anything. He didn't patent anything. He didn't patent anything. He wrote a book. Look, how do you think invention works? Well, answer. What idea is he going to get out of the patent? What idea is he going to get out of the patent? What idea could he possibly get from a patent? What idea? Okay, I'm not looking at that, man. But I won't. There's no. I guarantee you, I'm not going to be impressed with 19th century invention of American martial. doesn't matter that he was sitting behind a chair in the patent office. It doesn't matter. It can't possibly. Freedom, I don't think anybody got freedom because freedom is a bullshit philosophical world that you don't fully understand. And anyway, he was in Germany. He was in Germany. Yeah, before World War II. In the 1930s. He was working in a patent office in Germany in the 1930s. Yes, the government is allowed to prevent the disclosure of patent applications because it is entirely possible that you could try to patent a nuclear device. It is entirely possible that you could try today to patent a new weapon. The M16 and the AR-15 both have patents that are held by private companies, which are owned by individuals. The U.S. government is absolutely allowed to make it so that that can never go to market. That's what governments exist for. That's their job. It's not incredible. It's totally believable. Why the fuck should you be allowed to make a ray gun and market it? You can't build whatever you want. No, you can't. No. Under free market and free enterprise absolutely does not mean that you can make a doomsday weapon. Especially if you're gonna talk about how Disney is the machinery of pedophilia, you're not allowed to actually make a pedophile machine. No, there's no runaround. What manipulation that's been going on where, dude? What manipulation that's going on where? You and I are having this conversation through a private company. What do you mean trivial? I didn't say it was trivial. In fact, I didn't say it was trivial. I said it was the opposite of trivial. You and I are having this conversation through a private company. No, listen to what I'm actually saying. You and I are having this conversation through a private company. So, precisely. You have the freedom to have this conversation through this privately owned company that has a patent. It is good. That's what I'm telling you. Your conspiracy is wrong. There is no tampering. Okay, tampering is a conspiracy, and I did, and the Secrecy Act is allowed to happen. The Secrecy Act only makes sense. That's what I just responded to you to. The Secrecy Act is necessary. The government needs to be able to make sure that certain patents can't be disclosed. That's why it's the U.S. Government Patent Office. It's a government institution that makes sure that certain things don't go to market. No, it doesn't go higher than anything. Patents are the government. I don't have to look at Einstein. Einstein died poor. In Germany. It has nothing to do with the U.S. Secrecy Act. It's not the same thing. Germany isn't even a democracy in 1930. Germany has an emperor. It's not relevant. Germany had a fucking emperor at the time. Yeah, Germany, it's not relevant. They were totally different governmental styles.
Hey, Vince,
Yo.
you got TikTok?
I can't hear you. What?
You got TikTok?
No.
How many followers you got on that thing?
How many what? I don't know, man. 1,500. And YouTube. The Patent Office in Germany in 1930 has absolutely nothing to do with the United States. Nothing whatsoever. It doesn't matter whether it existed. It has nothing to do with Einstein. Einstein was in Germany. It has nothing to do with anything. Germany's patent office is not the United States Patent Office in 1930. They're different places. They're different governments. They're entirely different regime styles. No, they don't both go up. They don't both go up. Those nations went to war with one another. The patent offices did not go to war with one another. The United States did not develop the atomic bomb in the patent office. Patent offices are nothing. They're nothing. Patent offices are nothing. No, it's not incredible. It's absolutely believable. It's absolutely credible. It's absolutely credible. It blows your mind. No, there won't be a World War III. I don't have to imagine what they've got. We watch Ukraine and Russia fight all the time. We don't have to watch. That's not trivial. What? It's not trench warfare. They're killing one another with drones. What? That's not how they're fighting that war, dude. They're fighting that war with drones and fucking Predator and Tomahawk missiles. They're not fighting that war on the ground because it's illegal for them to fight that war on the ground. If Russia actually fought that war on the ground, the United States is bound by law to fight them. No, NATO, yeah, well, sort of. We have NATO. We don't have NATO for that reason. We are bound by NATO to defend those nations. That's what the